My first paranormal experience was when I was a little girl, probably 6 or 7 years old, at my parents' house where I grew up in Indy. I remember laying in bed and you could see from my room into my older brother's room, and I saw a woman who was transparent and white in a gown float into my brother's room and then disappeared suddenly. My brother always told me that stuff happened in our house. There was like one instance where he told me that he saw eyes looking at him through his blinds in his room. And when I got a little older, when he moved out, I took over his room, and like within the first month of living in his room, I saw the same thing that he told me had happened. But when I was younger, I thought he was joking, but it was totally real because it happened to me too. After the first experience happened, I started reading more about ghosts and paranormal activity. I'd always been interested in it, but it just kind of solidified my interest in it because I was always a reader, and so I just always did a lot of independent research and stuff on it. I do think that the house that I live in now is haunted, and I first started noticing that I felt like I was being watched when I would go different places, and I felt really uneasy being here alone. And then I started to hear sounds coming from the attic and from like behind the walls and stuff, and they were sounds that logically didn't make sense were coming from squirrels or bugs or anything. So in the attic of the house, there's a little side door that's like probably 2 feet tall that's always shut because it leads into like a little tiny crawl space behind the walls. And I was hearing sounds coming from the attic, and I wanted to go check it out. And so I went up there, and the little side door had just opened on its own. And it's a pretty heavy door, and so it takes some force to open it. And then whenever I'm alone in the house, I hear sounds coming from directly above where my room is and where our bathroom is. And it sounds like something really heavy is being dropped and that people are walking kind of above. But whenever I start to make noise or pay attention to it, it goes away and it stops all of a sudden. I do try to sage and clear the energy in my room and in the house at least once a month. And a lot of the affirmations that I say are positive and are also directed towards the house. If you feel afraid or in danger at all, then you should start with basic things like clearing the energy, set good intentions, and say positive affirmations. And if it continues or anything dangerous or harmful happens, then you should definitely talk to somebody a little more involved. But if it seems like overall calm and nothing too negative, then I honestly wouldn't worry too much about it because you're sharing the space with something else, and that's really all.